Hi, we're Dustin and Laura Gransberry with Open Your Practice, the business of therapy made simple. And I'm so excited today because...
Why? Because we have cool sweatshirts on?
Yeah.
We're wearing them again.
And...
I'm just so excited about our new swag.
And one of my wife Laura's secret passions is decorating.
Yeah.
Not just cakes.
It's so funny because, I do like to decorate cakes, but it's funny because I get this question a lot, actually, from students and when we go around and introduce ourselves in class or whatever. And,
so what's the question?
And I'll tell you in a second. And just random people ask me this, like, if you weren't being a therapist, if you didn't go into that profession, what would you be doing? And it's I don't even have to hesitate. It would be design. Because I love interior design and architecture. My mom wanted me to be an architect forever, and I didn't go down that road, but just too much math. So but I love it. I love, putting something together, whether it's a cake or a living room or a therapy office.
So I am a Luddite when it comes to this. That means at least maybe I got that wrong.
Yeah. No, I know. Keep going.
Yeah. Like I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to designing my office. So imagine I'm coming into this totally cold.
Yeah.
What do I need to consider?
I've seen your first chair that you purchased for your office.
I know.
It was real bad.
I was efficient with my dollars. I was saving the money and creating lower back problems with the poor chair design.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I got a comfy couch for my clients, right? But I got a really uncomfortable chair for myself. And that was a poor decision.
It was terrible. Not to mention, it was just not a good, aesthetically, it was terrible.
Yeah, no, I know. Ugly. Yeah,
so I was trying to avoid that word, but yes, it was.
And uncomfortable. But here's the thing. I was really good at marketing and getting new clients. Mm-hmm. So I booked myself back to back in a really uncomfortable chair.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And it was not good.
Yeah.
So what do I need to know?
What do you need to know about things for your office? I think this is probably one of the best parts of this process and something that you can be really creative with. There's so many different options.
Let's start with color scheme.
Yeah.
Okay, so I walk in it depends, right? But okay, everything depends. So how do I set the tone? How do I set the mood if I can change the color in my office? Mm-hmm. How do I think about color?
How do you think about color? What was the color of your first office? What did you paint it?
Well, the color of my very first office was bright yellow.
Yeah, don't do that.
With no windows.
Don't do that. As previously stated, he's not the one that's good at this.
I changed quickly.
Yes, I would imagine that you did. The encouragement here is to be creative, but not to stress out too much about it. If you pick something that feels good to you, that is soothing and doesn't take a lot of attention, I think the problem with the yellow is that when you're sitting in that room, it's a very energizing, I don't know. I've read a lot about color and emotions and all of it, and all of that. It's a firm believer in that colors and what you surround yourself with have an impact on how you feel. And so you want to pick things that are, feel safe and grounded and rooted and, evoke those kinds of emotions.
Yeah.
Not things that are going to make you feel anxious and stressed out and energized.
Yeah.
So there's somebody out there right now that's like, my favorite color is yellow and I wanted to paint my office yellow.
Yeah. You
can paint your office yellow, but don't paint it surface of the sun yellow. Because you can do whatever you want. You don't have to listen to me, but it might not have the effect on your clients that you want it to have.
Yeah. So calming, soothing.
Yeah. Something that feels safe and grounded and comfortable.
Okay. Give me some examples.
So my office is painted this really beautiful color of light greenish blue. Mm-hmm. Really soft and muted. So there is color on the wall. It's not it doesn't feel like a doctor's office where it's just stark white.
Yeah.
But it's sort of people feel comfortable without even really noticing that that's what's helping that process, right?
Mhm.
And even in the waiting room, when we chose the waiting room color, it is white, but it's a creamy white. So it's, again, not that like doctor's office white. It's like comfortable white.
Yeah. So there was intentionality behind it,
Yeah.
right? Because you notice how colors make people feel,
Mhm.
so you wanted to design your space. It's one of the major benefits of being in private practice,
Yeah.
hopefully. You get to control
Yeah.
the environment.
Yeah.
And it has an impact, right? So I think that's great. So we've got some visual, if you're visual, ideas on the Pinterest channel
Yep.
for Open Your Practice.
Yep.
But what would you recommend? Would you recommend somebody just go into a paint store and get one of those fan things that you...
Yeah, those things cost money. I don't know if you know that, but those things
Okay.
are like $35, those paint fans. I thought I was going to be able to just go get one. And no, they wanted me to pay for it.
Okay.
But yeah, if you go to they have the chips that you can take with you and take a few and either tape the chip up to the wall or buy a little sample and put it up on the wall if you have time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
See what feels good to you. Live with it for a while. You know, you're going to be seeing clients probably all the way through the day. So it looks different at 11 in the morning than it does at 5 o'clock at night.
Okay. What about furniture?
Yeah.
What do I need to think about when it comes to furniture?
Comfort. Comfort and accessibility. And what's the other one there? The type of client that you're going to be seeing. So if you're going to be seeing families, don't get a 2-person love seat. Because then you're putting people in folding chairs, and that's awkward and annoying. So if you're going to be seeing families, have a big couch. If you have you're able to get a sectional into your office. Some offices are very tiny, and that's not possible. But if you're able to have some space and get a big couch in there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Obviously, chair is important. We talked about that. I made that mistake.
Yeah.
What do I need to know about picking the right chair? It feels like
sit in them. This is actually something that for our home sofa.
Yeah.
This was a point that you made that was actually very well taken.
Right.
Because I was very, I wanted it to look a certain way. And so I was looking online and, like, oh, this one's pretty and this one's pretty. And you put your foot down and you were like, no, I must sit in it to make sure that it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is I had never, thought about. Of course, I feel silly admitting that I've never thought about it that way. But, of course, you should go sit in it and make sure that you can sit in it for a while.
Mm-hmm. How many hours did you sit in your chair, like, for the longest day? Your longest therapy day.
My
How many
longest
hours,
therapy day. Well, so the in private practice, the most clients I've seen in a day is I think 7. But I was there for 8 hours because I had I have to eat, so I took an hour in between. But I was sitting in that chair for 7 hours that day. Yeah. So and that's pretty. Just for my own sanity, that's the most I can do in a day. Some clinicians can do up to 10 in a day, and they pack their week into a couple days that way, which. That's up to you, but
for sure,
especially if you're going to be seeing clients for that many hours, like, please have a comfortable chair.
Right. So
with lumbar support.
Right?
Yes.
Some of the chairs that you'll see that, again, Pinterest page, if you want to see some visual examples, some chairs are really expensive. Yeah. Or at least that's what it looks like.
It was my chair, sorry to interrupt you, my chair was the most expensive piece of furniture that I bought for the whole office. Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to be there the most. I'm going to be sitting in it the most. Your clients are only there hour and a half at a time, depending on how long your sessions are. Yeah. So, hands down, it was the biggest investment.
Yeah, I spent like 8 times the amount I spent on my chair on the couch, and Laura did the opposite. Which was a lot smarter.
Yeah. Well, I think you almost fainted when I told you how much my chair was.
Yes. But it's worth it, right? If you're going to be sitting there often. I ended up resenting how often I was seeing my clients because I had to sit in this really uncomfortable chair. Yeah. So it's all about setting yourself up for success, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if we're talking about the business of therapy and making it simple, like, don't make it uncomfortable, right?
Don't complicate your life.
Yeah, don't complicate your life. Don't make this business a business that you don't actually want to be in, right? Or a chair you don't want to be in. Yeah. That's not good. Okay, so do I need a bunch of extra furniture? Do I need to show off all the books that I have read?
You can that's sort of up to you, know, in terms of books in your office. I know for your practice, you leaned heavily on this sort of deal that we've got behind us here where you had a ton of books in your office.
Yeah.
I think I have like maybe 10 books.
Yeah.
Because I find that I don't pull them for resources as much as I thought that I would, and I don't like clutter. You know, I like an office that feels comfortable but very clean and symmetrical, and like people can breathe. Mm-hmm. That's just my bias for what feels best to me. Maybe so I can breathe. Yeah. Maybe that's more what it's about. But yeah, so I have a room for a small desk, and I just have some shelves, and I have a few books and some things that I've collected over the years that are important to me, that help me describe, like, I have this really, I think it's called the Love Knot sculpture. I got it somewhere. It's like two individual things that stand alone, but they're interlinked. Mm-hmm. And I love pulling that off the shelf and talking to people about that, you know, in terms of differentiation and boundaries and things like that. So I have that on my shelf. And yeah, so, you know, put things in your office that make you feel good.
Tissue boxes.
Tissue boxes are important.
I skipped that. And then I learned the hard way.
Well, and it's funny because sometimes I have clients that, like, it's interesting to me how reaching for the tissue can almost become an entire session conversation in and of itself. Yeah. Like, you don't want to admit that you're sad enough to have a tissue. Let's talk about that. So I have tissues.
A big area of concern that I have is lighting. Mm-hmm. Right? So if I've got the color thing figured out, or at least I'm feeling pretty good about color.
Yeah. So I'm on my third office now, mm-hmm. and it's taken me 3 offices to get there, but it's exactly what I wanted. It's in an office suite with 4 other clinicians, so that I really love and trust. So I'm really like living the dream in that regard. Yeah. And it's been, I got to pick my wall color, like it's been phenomenal. And it came with a dimmer switch on the lighting. Okay. So the ceiling's got a little vault in it, and the lights are in the ceiling. But when I walked in, one of the first things I noticed was that when you flip on the light, you don't have to have it full blast. Yeah. Because it's just too harsh, and I don't like that. So I have some lamps, you know, I have one by my chair, and then I have 2 by the couches, and then the overhead lighting I can control on the dimmer switch. So when when all the lamps are on, I can kind of, you know, make it not so overbearing. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to blast people out of there.
So do you think about like soft light versus hard light, or?
Yeah, and the fluorescent lights too. Some offices come with. I worked in an office. Oh gosh, was that at one of the facilities I worked at? I think it was the second one. Or in my internship, community mental health, generally are in big office buildings, and they have that horrible fluorescent lighting. I never even turned on the overhead light. I had 4 lamps in my office, and I used that exclusively because I hated the fluorescent lighting so much. So I would say lighting is important.
And that's so you can warm it up, like create more warm energy.
Yeah. And people generally are under fluorescent lights at their offices all day. So coming to a space where there isn't that, and it's more, you know, warm, comfortable, it just sets a better, more open tone, I think.
Is there any like standard equipment that I might need? I know that you often use a noise machine.
Yeah. A noise machine outside the door for confidentiality, and you know, if you have digital practice management tools, have your computer handy. You know, sometimes I've had clients struggle to sign in, and they're like, I don't get it, you know, or whatever, and so we just run through it really quick. So I have my computer handy generally. But yeah, I mean, in terms of equipment, not a ton. I'm not doing a ton of like PowerPoint presentations for my clients, so no need for a projector.
If I'm trying to save up to have everything that I need to put into my office, about how much money do I need to do that?
That is a big swing. I get why you're asking the question, but it depends on how much it depends. I know the dreaded word. Oh, no. So I'm going to give you some bookends here, because I'm always trying to take that "it depends" out of it. I would say if you are going to outfit the whole office, so desk, chair, couch, lamps, $1,000 to $2,000. If you're spending more than $2,000 on your office furniture, I think you can do a little better than that. And because what?
Because you can upgrade.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get a chair like I got.
No, don't do that.
But you can upgrade over time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're on your third office now.
I am. And I didn't buy this fancy chair until my second office. So when I was subletting, I used the clinician who held the main lease, like I was using her chair. Yeah, obviously, I'm not going to bring my own chair in. So, yeah, I waited. Which is a way to kick that cost down the road a little bit. If you're going to sublease for a while, generally I would hope that the offices are furnished if you're subletting, and there's another clinician there too, so you can bypass that cost completely. Yeah. In the beginning.
So you do need some money, right? But a couple $1,000s should get you there.
It should, now that I'm thinking about it, it should get you well there. Yeah.
So you got a lot of, we've got budgets and checklists and things like that you can work through. Resources on our website if you want to go check that out and get more
I think
in detail.
Now that I'm thinking about it more, you could probably furnish an office for $500 if you're really savvy about it.
For sure. Yeah. But, I mean, you're not talking about, cinder blocks and some plywood and... No.
Because I want you to get a nice chair.
Yeah. But you can do it very economically to start with. And then just keep in mind, if you're going to be at this for a career, you've got some time to get nicer and nicer stuff as you go, right? Especially if you've got the financial management piece down, which we talk about extensively in our course, how to set money aside to have things like office improvements, and you've got a fund for that. Then money is always being set aside so you can get upgraded stuff as you go, which is kind of nice. You're like, oh, now I've got money to get new stuff.
And it doesn't hit your bottom line in a really stressful way.
Yeah. Anything else I need to know about office decor?
I would just say don't stress. I mean, I know people that agonize over the paint color, and don't do that. Pick a few swatches, put them on the wall, pick one, move on.
Yeah. What happens if I pick the wrong one, though?
You can repaint.
Okay. Yeah. So
if you get it up and you hate it and it's bright yellow like the surface of the sun, you can repaint.
Key takeaway is action, right? Just take action.
Keep going. It's a takeaway sort of that is more global to this whole process, is keep putting one foot in front of the other. If you are not like me and you hate interior design and you can't stand it and you can't stand the thought of it, then make some quick decisions and move on. You can't really do it terribly wrong. If you're generally I have a couch and a chair, you did it terribly wrong. But if you've watched this, if you're still with us, you're not going to do it terribly wrong. If you just take these tips and follow this guideline and go online and make some orders, you'll be good to go.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Subscribe. Yeah, do the thing.
Subscribe. And go visit, especially with this one, we have a Pinterest page.
Yeah.
And we have a board for office decor and office ideas. So go check that out.
Yeah. What else should they do?
Facebook, Instagram, we're on those as well. If you haven't already signed up for our email list, there's exclusive content for our newsletter subscribers. So there's that piece. Yep. Openyourpractice.com.
Yeah. See you next time.
Yeah.